Joe Rogan did not start his podcast trying to become one of the most influential men on the planet. He seemed like an authentic dude who was just famous enough to get access to extraordinary people, but his platform may have gotten too big and too valuable for the elites to ignore. What started as casual conversations with comedians and weirdos turned into serious conversations with billionaires and politicians. For over a decade, fans felt like they really understood Joe, but these days he has become the exact thing he used to hate about modern media, which has resulted in millions of his viewers checking out. His podcast has dropped from #1 in the world to #5 and could continue to go down.
Chad, what do people even listen to podcast-wise? I mean, Pod Save America audio. Chad, 3.6 million what per month? Chad, I feel like people don't really listen to podcasts, genuinely. Like, I think people don't really do all this because these numbers look really low.
However, anyone who's been watching for a while knows this didn't happen overnight. There were actually 6 key decisions that he made that slowly turned Joe Rogan into a shell of what he used to be. The first sign that everything was about to change for the worse was in 2020 when Joe Rogan signed an exclusive licensing deal with Spotify, reportedly worth $100 million. Now, this was life-changing money that most people would understandably take without hesitation, but it would cause a ripple effect that would slowly change Rogan's reputation forever. The first thing that came with the new deal was censorship. Spotify deleted 113 episodes or 300 hours of content from the JRE library.
Wait, really?
Some of those episodes included conversations with comedians like Joey Diaz, Brazilian mixed martial artist Rickson Gracie, and notorious conspiracy theorists like Brian Dunning and Alex Jones. It felt like a slap in the face to the fans because the wide variety of guests was what made the show so interesting. Sometimes JRE was genuinely educational, with scientists, doctors, or journalists having deeply nuanced conversations you couldn't get anywhere else.
While we're on this subject of subatomic particles and weirdness, I want to, if you could, illuminate this often misused explanation for the observer effect.
Other times it was Rogan joking around with comedians and telling stupid stories.
And I was making like a nice smoothie and I'm up, I'm partying, you know, I'm living high on the hog. I thought I heard something outside, right? So I leave out of my apartment to go in the hallway, lock myself out with the blender going. 2:30 in the morning, up out of my brain, right? Now I have to go to my landlord, dude, who lives right down the hall.
But the most important thing was that absolutely nothing was off limits, no matter how ridiculous it seemed.
Some guy asked me the other day if I wanted to have someone who's a flat earth proponent. Is apparently the best arguer for a flat earth.
Come on, I want to hear that. I want to hear that argument. What can they possibly say? Of course it's strong, but the one thing that's...
Chat, I feel like it's only fair to do that, right? For all topics, if you at least give them some pushback, right? Or at least get somebody who isn't a flat earther to give them some pushback so they have a conversation or whatever. Because it's the job of the host to give someone a pushback for stuff, whatever, but if he's not equipped for it, then to get somebody else to do it. I mean...
weird is you would think with all the satellites we have going in and out of our solar system, how come there's no pictures of the Earth and like the sun over here? There are pictures.
So many pictures of the Earth.
So many. Google.
Back then, you could feel Rogan's curiosity through the screen. There was no agendas, no hidden messages, just an authentic guy trying to chat with interesting people. JRE had a similar appeal as a late-night talk show, except these conversations lasted 3 hours instead of a few minutes. Plus, it didn't feel like a polished corporate product. It felt like you were sitting in the room with an interesting guest and you could count on Joe to keep the conversation fresh and engaging with good questions.
People that are listening to this are probably going, what is gauge symmetry, dude? You just passed over that and you said it was crazy.
Okay,
is there a way that you could possibly just give a small synopsis?
Sure,
okay.
we'll try. We'll see how we do.
Even when political topics were discussed, especially when there were disagreements, the conversations remained level-headed and cordial, which is why Spotify removing Joe's content seemed like an obvious sign of corporate censorship, but Rogan vehemently disagreed with that.
Right, but here's, listen, me on the outside reading these articles, like, oh my God, Spotify's censoring Rogan, Spotify's doing this.
It's not happening.
Spotify has said nothing. Nothing. They haven't said anything to my manager. They haven't said anything to me. In terms of like them silencing me, zero. There's been nothing.
Wait, but then why do you remove it then? I don't get it.
Ironic because just a few years before,
he has to come up with some form of hypothesis on why
and heavily criticized YouTube for deleting and demonetizing right-wing political content.
It's dangerous towards the marketplace of free ideas. The marketplace of ideas is extremely important, and I would think that if anybody would know that, it would be the people that are involved in tech. They're just so wrapped up in the progressive mindset.
Ultimately, the Spotify deal had more positives than negatives. JRE remained the top podcast in the world, and now he was filthy rich. But the second key decision he made was moving his entire business and family from Los Angeles to Austin, Texas. At the time, it seemed like a completely normal decision. Plenty of wealthy people were leaving LA for Texas. Lower taxes, similar warm weather, and a city like Austin still offered the creative environment someone like Joe Rogan would want. But looking back, after he relocated, the version of Rogan people thought they knew started to disappear.
Really?
But real quick, let's say you're about to board a plane and you notice one of the By April of 2020, Rogan watched as California was quickly becoming the leading state encouraging lockdowns during the COVID-19 pandemic. Schools went digital, parks were closed, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in aid were given to the homeless in dense cities. But on the other end, there were a number of states, like Texas, that were run by those who believed in herd immunity, which is essentially the idea that the overwhelming majority of the population would become immune to the virus after it ran its course, or after enough people were vaccinated, and they were more hesitant to shut down businesses to stop the spread. Rogan had justified leaving California for a number of reasons, but it seemed like the pandemic was roughly his 13th reason why.
And what's the story? You moving?
I'm out of here. Yeah.
When do you leave?
Soon. Yeah.
Texas or?
Yeah, I'm going to go to Texas. I just want to go somewhere in the center of the country, somewhere it's easier to travel to both places, and somewhere where you have a little bit more freedom. Also, I think that where we live right here in Los Angeles is overcrowded. When you look at the number of people that are catching COVID because of this overpopulation issue, when you look at the traffic, when you look at the economic despair, when you look at the homelessness problem that's accelerated radically, I think there's too many people here. I think it's not tenable. I don't think it's manageable.
Unfortunately for Joe, mainstream media outlets were quick to interpret his move as him adopting a right-wing identity. Not only was he going to save millions of dollars in taxes, but his skepticism of the effectiveness of vaccines, along with the general distrust.
None of these things makes you right-wing. This is what I don't like about politics in general, is that people are so brain dead. Like, having a take doesn't make you right-wing inherently. Having two takes doesn't make you right-wing. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It's the overall profile of what you do and your inclinations towards all the topics and all the that will make you right-wing. And even then, it's that simple. And it's an obvious tactic from other people that want to make you feel like a criminal for not abiding by all. Like, if the left says 20 things, and if you disagree with one of them, then they get to say you're a right-wing magatard or whatever. That's the weapon that they made and they try to use, though. And I don't think either side should do that. I don't think either side should do that. It's bullshit. It's lame. And if you need this tactic for people to stay on your side, then you're wrong. In my book, you're wrong.
The COVID data made it seem like he was leaving liberal Hollywood for the heart of red state America. But at this point, most of his fan base still saw him as an open-minded and reasonable guy, and they believed that the media was forcing a political identity onto him that simply wasn't there.
Yeah.
Regardless, Rogan moved, built a new horrifically ugly podcast set, and consistently tried to convince his buddies to move to Austin.
People actually love that set
first, and then I want to go work with Bill and Melinda Gates for a while, and then I will come to Austin.
You can't say
wait. Most good episodes are in the red set, though.
I know. We'll see.
But an issue that Joe seemed to underestimate was how being in LA allowed him to vastly outcompete other podcasts. The intellectuals and entertainers he had on his show either already lived in SoCal or frequently traveled there for business. And while Austin is still a major city, it simply isn't the same kind of cultural hub that attracts the wide variety of guests that made JRE feel so unpredictable and valuable. Another glaring issue was that Austin simply did not have an iconic comedy scene like LA. Many people forget, or choose to ignore, that Joe's first career path in entertainment was stand-up comedy, making him almost a 40-year veteran in the industry. No matter how rich and famous he got, he still spent many of his weeknights at comedy clubs in LA practicing his craft, which is why he immediately got to work building his own comedy club on 6th Street called the Comedy Mothership. By 2023, the construction was finally finished, and he felt that his background as a comedian would make the Mothership a total success.
This is the spot. spot. It's just different than any other place we've ever been to. But it's also the only place that I've ever worked at where a comic ran it. Like a comic built it. It's also people that recognize there's a new scene here.
I don't think there's any cancel-heavy humor spots, are there? I think it's like a non-issue. It's like saying, oh, everybody's canceling me, but who the fuck is canceling for like local bars or comedic spot that people make jokes that are dark? They all do it. I mean, what?
So there's like this energy to that, and they want to come experience it.
At the same time, stand-up comedy was becoming more publicly scrutinized than ever. Comedians were constantly being criticized or canceled for jokes about race, gender, or other marginalized groups. Joe often touted stand-up, particularly in Austin, as the last place with true free speech.
Yeah, we say, in the comedy world, we say we're the last line of defense. The woke meets the wall with stand-up comedy.
Yeah, but that's the big ones, though. That tour and
you
shit.
You can't have woke comedy. It sucks. It's impossible. That's not what's funny.
Rogan's influence in the comedy scene made him a trusted leader for many comics. His podcast had become a more powerful promotional platform than Saturday Night Live, where comedians would double the size of their fan bases after they became a part of his sphere of friends, which has now been dubbed the Rogan sphere. And his move to Texas also inspired his buddies Tom Segura, Tony Hinchcliffe, Shane Gillis, and many other aspiring comics to move to the city. Tim Dillon was one of the only friends of Rogan who just couldn't help but point out the irony of choosing a place like Austin, Texas as a replacement for LA.
City of Austin, Texas, let's be very honest, is dangerous. The homeless there are more aggressive than I've ever seen them in New York.
Yeah.
There's pockets of it that really do look San Fran-like.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Like as a metropolis, it's bad.
It's pretty small.
Really? It's small. It's brown. There's no grass. It's not green. It turns brown. For 4 months out of the year, it's over 100 degrees. The lake.
Has he ever lived there before? I mean, I lived there. What? I think these guys are just kind of yapping a little bit. Yo, if you go to like the super dark spots and the super like alley heavy spots, I mean, sure. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with that. Like if you go to like the super dark alleys that have no light, yeah, I mean, yeah. But yeah, it's exactly. It's like being some random street to Skid Row. Like
is vomit colored, and there are brain-eating amoebas that can swim up your nose and kill you within 48 hours. It's rare, but it happens.
Other comedians generally felt like Austin wasn't...
Sorry, just no. This guy's just trolling. Bro, I lived in Austin for years. Are you kidding me?
In New York,
it's like Austin
is dangerous. The homeless there are more aggressive than I've ever seen them in New York.
Yeah.
There's pockets of it that really do look San Fran-like.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Like as a metropolis,
it's not good.
It's bad.
It's pretty small.
It's small. It's brown.
Sure.
There's no grass. It's not green. It turns brown.
I would rather I would rather have no grass or not a lot of grass, have a lot of brown than breathing in actual poison on a daily. Buddy, LA has a severe coat of smog. It's poisonous, buddy. Like who is he talking to? I don't know who he's talking to.
For 4 months out of the year, it's over 100 degrees. The lake is vomit colored, and there are brain-eating amoebas that can swim up your nose and kill you within 48 hours. It's rare, but it happens.
Other comedians generally felt like Austin.
Dude, you have to like dive in the water straight down, and the water has to go straight up. It's like a one chance out of like 1 bazillion. Like
It was an unpleasant place to live or visit.
I had no power for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Texas blows.
I didn't know that.
So, dude, the second you run
back, Shane. Come on.
Just say I went to Austin, and gotta tell you that Austin, that city is a boiling pot of evil goo.
On top of that, critics felt like Austin became a sort of echo chamber for right-wing comedians who saw the mothership as a safe haven from being canceled for their hacky comedy.
I think that it's so effectively tribalized at this point. It really comes down to material. I mean, at what point...
I'm not offended. The point of the video is how Joe Rogan fell off. And then it's like some guy giving an opinion into some joke about how bad Austin is. And it's like, dude, we're so far off the branch now. Like, we're just trolling the game.
At what point... It's like whatever they represented in terms of policy.
Buddy, even in broad daylight, even when the lights are straight up, people go in Hollywood and they get up when they go 10 feet off the... And even in the middle of the street, they get on it. Like, come on, man. Just don't even try it.
It's not a stretch. It's like they won. Trans people are frightened. They have no ability to get health care anymore, and they're afraid of being alive and have no freedom left. So that's done. When do you stop with the jokes? Like immigrants, okay, well, they're being ripped away from their homes, and they're all terrified, and okay, so that's done. When do you stop with the joke?
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to to pick on the vulnerable and the marginalized, but I mean, they're down.
Yeah.
I mean, like, why do you got to keep hitting them unless you're a hack? Now, there's a question.
More and more respected comedians have been echoing the same criticism, that the Austin comedy scene is relying too heavily on being anti-woke rather than producing funny material.
There's something about the place that I'm just not...
the place you mean Austin?
Yeah, the mothership Austin, that's all one.
You just mean, so you're talking about just this whole concept
That's
of
the doctor
Austin
guy
comedy.
Yeah, Austin comedy.
I didn't like the vibe at the mothership. I got in
Didn't
trouble
suit
for
you?
being in the green room, apparently.
Oh, you did?
I got a security guard took me into the green room.
Took you right out.
And I was like, hello. And then apparently after I wasn't invited in, so apparently Joe was mad at me. It's the other comedians.
Mm-hmm. You don't like it?
It's very F-word.
Some comedians even feel the need to be sarcastic when they criticize him. Perhaps they fear being blacklisted by the new comedy gatekeeper.
Like the comedy mothership is so tight-knit.
Right.
And I also heard it's not a fun hang if you're an Austin comic.
What, the mothership?
If you're not like in with Rogan and his crew, if you're coming up, it's not like the Cellar. The Cellar, you could sit at the bar and feel awkward. Yeah. I've heard the mothership, you have to get past Navy SEALs to get into the green room.
I love Rogan. I love the club. I think it's perfect, and I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea.
Okay, I'm unbiased generally. I think I'm watching some guy just complain about nothing burgers, like shit that I don't give a f about. Like this is like not like literally non-issues. Oh my, oh this is called the anti-cancel spot. I'm gonna go there. Oh, somebody said the F word. Whoa, I'm so put back by it. Like dude, like at one point you stop performing for the camera, dude. Like we get it, man. You voluntarily went to a place called No Cancel. You know the vibe of it, just off the name, and you get mad if somebody says it. Like, really?
Yeah, and every time I go, I feel joy in my heart. Only club that when they go, do you want to come? I go, yes, before they even say, and then I feel joy.
Yeah, and he swung me. I'm all in on Trump.
And considering Rogan's power and influence in the world of stand-up, you'd think he was this legendary act. Which brings me to the next key mistake he made, releasing a comedy special in 2024, where he even failed to convince his own fan base that he was actually a funny comedian. When people think about Joe Rogan's comedy career, they usually don't remember the jokes, but they might remember the moment he went on stage and called out Carlos Mencia for stealing them.
You not cheering? Those are cheers. They saw you perform and they like you. And you know what? That's great. I'm honest, bro.
And even though most people don't recall ever laughing at his stand-up, he has included himself into the extremely small group of the elite 250 comedians alive today.
And it's also small, because there's so few of us. And worldwide, there's maybe 500 of us on the planet. You know, you got to be real generous and say 500 because it's really probably about 250.
This wouldn't be as...
Chat, I think the top 500 of comedians is like really easy to get into. Okay, it's mostly marketing because if you're not marketed, you could say the funniest joke, you'll never make it on any list. You could be the funniest person on earth, you'll never make it anywhere. Yeah, you need to have an audience that you have tailored and built. You have to market yourself. You have to become a brand enough to be on shows, to be on TV, to be picked up. Like, it's a process that is a lot more than just being funny. Being a top comic is like 5% about being funny. Some of the top comics, I haven't even smiled at one of their jokes. I mean, it just makes me want to die when I listen to this shit.
Ridiculous if Rogan didn't spend hours ad nauseum explaining the craft and the art behind stand-up comedy. For real comedy fans, one of his most ridiculous moments was when he was explaining the writing process to top comics like Louis C.K.
What I do is I get index cards and I'll actually write the bullet points for each bit and I lay them out on the coffee table in the green room. I know I remember it.
You gotta load it in. You gotta be living it.
You gotta be like, it's gotta be refreshed. The thing that drives me more nutty than anything is like when I forget a tag.
It's a shame.
And then I leave and I'm like, I forgot that part about the guy.
This is like a line cook talking to a 5-star Michelin chef about how they make food. They both make food, but the quality is very different. But after hearing Joe explain the craft for the 1000th time, even his own fans are tired of hearing him try to convince them how important and interesting comedians are.
It's like if you want to be a doctor, you go to college, you get a degree, you go to medical school, you do your residency, there's a pathway. What the is the pathway for being a successful comedian?
You're just funny. It's just that, like, the format, the audience, everything always changes. Like, it's just being funny. Like, if being a comic, somebody, doesn't matter what context they're in and what they do, they're just, if they make a joke, they're funny, they're witty. Like, I feel like, of course, there won't be a streamlined path to being a comic because it's not a streamlined job.
Pathway's different than mine. Mine's different than Duncan's or Ari's. We all have different pathways.
A few moments later.
All you have to do is you do open mic nights, you get funny, you build up an act, and then people come to see you. You build up a career, and the next thing you know, you become a successful comedian. That's what happened to you. That's what happened to me.
It seems like over the past few years, Rogan started having a harder time differentiating between the fame he got on the podcast versus his stand-up. But we would see just how much he overestimated his comedic skills in 2024 when he announced his newest special, Burn the Boats. And while he hyped it up as an hour he had been working on for the past 6 years, there's one clip that perfectly summarizes this special. Joe glazing Elon Musk, screaming to make empty material feel bigger than it really was, and not even having a punchline.
He was explaining to me how this rocket ship his company designed is going to move civilization to Mars. He's telling me all the calculations. Halfway through him explaining this, I stopped paying attention. I'm imagining 4 dudes strapped into a rocket on their way to Mars. Just shh. One guy pulls out a gun, boom, shoots that guy, bang, shoots that guy, leaves one guy alive going, ah!
Oh, and the deafening silence from the crowd after he absolutely bombs his jokes.
Trans women are women. How about most? You gotta leave room for crazy.
Bro, what's the punchline? He set it up like it was gonna be fire. For the love of God, please just steal jokes. Unfortunately for Rogan, the month following Burn the Boats became a non-stop roast on the belief that he was never qualified to be a professional stand-up comedian. Almost every review online was filled with disappointment or people straight up begging Joe to put the mic down.
Jack, my truth is that I don't really give a fuck. I don't see Joe Rogan as a comedian first. I see him as he's a podcaster. Yo, that's what he for me. That's not why I watch it. I don't give a fuck about his opinion about comedy, about his comedy skit, about his cover as a comedian, about his achievement. He's like one that boasts about being a fucking pro Overwatch player. I do it all the time. It's funny, right? But like, I don't think this people's like, yeah, XQC fell off because he always says he's good at Overwatch, but he wasn't even that good. Like, bro, like I give a shit.
Down
Like,
forever. YouTuber The Elephant Graveyard's critique of Rogan's special looms over his career like a dark cloud, leading to the awakening of some of Joe's biggest fans and friends. You won't find any of his comedy buddies talking about how funny Joe's special was. But after this special released, the 2024 presidential election was about to change Rogan's identity forever. The centrist and open-minded guy who built his brand on curiosity and authenticity was starting to look less like a neutral truth seeker and more like someone trapped in his own ideological bubble, leading to his fourth key mistake of letting the Joe Rogan experience get way too politically focused. Rogan has long identified himself as a left-leaning centrist.
Yeah, I think socially I lean more left, like socially, like in terms of like welfare and things along those lines, and you know, obviously this protected status is driving me crazy. This thing that Trump's doing with children that were born in this country or born in other countries and then brought over here as children, and then they're talking about deporting them. The hard right version of that is despicable.
Again, even if if you're centrist, like actual true centrist, not like me. I'm clearly left, right? I go with centrist because these days the needle kind of moves around, right? But people say centrist. He says that, of course, when I say right wing or whatever the fuck, because it's the overall profile. Like, you cannot just say a take that he has and say, oh yeah, clearly he's right wing because look, what he's about. Dude, that's not how that works, chat. Guys, there are so many topics that are right or left or whatever. Like, you cannot point at 3 takes or 4 takes that, yo, clearly this guy is right wing. I mean, you can't do that because you might be super left wing or full left about 12 other ones or 20 of the ones. That would still make you very much left or left-leaning. I mean, this is what.
These people that I see online, why didn't they apply for citizenship? Oh, who knows? Maybe because they're 13.
Yeah.
You know, like, were you out there applying for citizenship if you were 13?
He even once said he would never have a politician on his show because he understood they'd never be as authentic.
See, check this thing. See, like, bro, see how dumb you sound? I'm left BTW. Yeah, exactly. All my takes make me absolute left. Like, you point out one thing, it's even an opinion. It's just a picture, and like, you're the exact trap I told you people do. You're doing it right now. I mean, you just sound stupid.
Take as his buddies.
I'd have requests from all of them.
Really?
Oh yeah, Biden, Warren.
How do you resist that?
Because I have my friends. I'd rather talk to my friends.
Yeah, I know.
And his political identity made sense considering he would talk about.
What? I don't understand.
Who knows? Maybe because they're 13.
Yeah.
You know, like, why didn't they apply for citizenship? The version of that is despicable. This here is children that were born in this country or born in other countries and then brought over here as children, and then they're talking about deporting them. The hard right version of that is despicable. These people that I see online, why didn't they apply for citizenship? Oh, who knows? Maybe because they're 13.
Yeah.
You know, like, were you out there applying for citizenship if you were 13?
Even.
I mean, in that particular case, they would go with their family back, no? I mean, like, what's the alternative then? You only deport the parents and you leave the children there? I mean, is that really the alternative? You leave the children by themselves with nobody in America. You find them some form of whatever, and then you deport the parents. I mean, what the fuck? What's the alternative?
One said he would never have a politician on his show because he understood they'd never be as authentic as his buddies.
I've had requests from all of them.
Really?
Oh yeah, Biden, Warren.
How do
they
you
are born citizens? Yeah, exactly. But that doesn't make their parents born citizens.
You resist that?
Does it?
Because I have my friends. I'd rather talk to my friends.
Yeah, I know.
And his political identity made sense considering he would talk about the medicinal value of psychedelics, question government conspiracies, support gay marriage, and be prideful of the Second Amendment, all with...
No, Dylan, you're wrong. In that case, you would deport the parents, and the child is parents. They have to go with their legal guardian. Like, I think it's that simple. I think you're making something that it's not that it's not. Yes, it can be very harsh, and I agree it's fucking harsh. And some of this shit is fucking awful. And I disagree with it fundamentally. But I think that what you're saying is that, let's say there's a guy who comes in illegally, right? And he gets a child, and that one is a U.S. born citizen, right? That I don't think it gives de facto the parents citizenship. So that person is deported, they would go with their legal guardian. They're just following the parent. They're just following the parent because the parent is deported. What is the alternative to this? Like, what you do then? You deport one and say, oh, by the way, child, you have a choice. No, you don't have a choice. They follow their leadership. How's an exploit? Well, I'm not going to what you're saying. Who has decided if you're born here, then you are allowed to live here? Yeah, but you're a child. You have no rights. Like, when you're a child, you have no rights. I mean, no. Your parents is what goes. Like, you know, what I'm saying is that if the parents says we're going there, you're going there. You don't go, the Bill of Rights says the freedom to move wherever I want. Well, if you're 9 years old, your dad says, yo, we're going home. You don't go and call the police and say, my dad says to move and I don't agree with being moved right now. Like, what the f are you talking about? Yeah,
I didn't realize
you don't have
had
those.
so many Hassan viewers in your chat.
Than one episode. He genuinely felt reasonable and relatable to millions of people, but after...
Guys, when you're a child and you want to go out at 10 p.m. and give a curfew, you don't have that right. If the parents say, yo, you're not going outside, you don't have... As an adult, if you want to go outside and somebody says you can't, right? Then they're committing false imprisonment. They're committing a crime by not letting you leave. Yeah, that's a crime. When you're a child, you can't get out of the house because the parent says, no, you don't... Yeah, no, you don't have the right to go out. Yeah, they are the legal guardian. They tell you what the f to do. Like, how is this hard to understand?
Re-signing with Spotify, this time for $250 million, he started to look and sound more like a wealthy elite trying to cosplay as the common man. That illusion became more obvious after he sat face-to-face with Donald Trump for a multi-hour-long conversation during the presidential campaign trail of 2024. Joe wasn't really challenging Trump on his policies, but rather giving him an open platform to pitch himself to Joe's millions of listeners. Then again, Joe said that he wanted to have Kamala Harris on as well and give her the same exact platform he gave Trump, but he claims they wanted to compromise the integrity of his show.
Brother, I'm telling you, buddy, we had sent multiple requests, full team, and not just me saying, yo, we could do a podcast. We had said multiple things. Bro, they don't give a shit. They don't want to do it. Like, the only interview and that's not just me. How many Kamala appearances have there been? Total on any content creator, not just me. You can say, "Oh, but you're a nobody. You're a nobody. You're so small." Okay, fair enough. Then I don't give a fuck. Then you know what? Put me out of the equation. The only one she's been on is the guy with the glasses, the Shack or whatever the fuck it's called. The bullshit chat. The Call Me Daddy, like Shannon Sharpie Shack. That's the only appearance she did on a content creator or creator media like. It's the only appearance she did. That's not something that Trump is doing it or interviewers are doing it. That's something that they are not doing. That's something that Kamala isn't doing. This is something that, like, that's their fault. Like, don't put this on them for having them on. Put it on Kamala for not going on these shows. Like,
I needed to come here when she was in Texas, and I literally gave them an open invitation. I said, anytime. I said, if she's done at 10 o'clock, we'll come back here at 10 o'clock. But it
oh, my political opponent is going on these megaphones. He goes on these free channels with big megaphones to the youth, and they're popularizing it. They're gaining viewers, and they're marketing themselves, and they're getting free voters by just going on the podcast. I will not do that. And I'm gonna say, he's going on the podcast. Then go on the podcast. What the is wrong with you? Like, old chumps. Are they so stupid?
It was very difficult to tie it down, and they wanted to travel. And see, the thing is, like, you can't, if I go somewhere, then there's going to be other people in the room, and they want to control a lot of things, I'm sure. My whole goal with her and with him is just talk, have a conversation like a human being.
With the world feeling more...
Because the problem is, with Trump, genuinely, I mean, let's be honest, if you sit down and you just talk with him, right, he really gains voters, right? This is what he does. It's whatever. Like, you can argue, whatever. Like, the reality is that when you sit him down like this, he will just genuinely just gain voters, right? If the left is scared of losing voters by talking, then don't blame it on him for going on the shows. It makes you look brain dead. You look so short-sighted and unintelligent when you blame him for going, because you won't do it. Your risk isn't his risk. So don't have some weird recourse or some weird narrative of, oh, they're doing this and this is a big organized sphere. Dude, f*** off.
More divided than ever, and Rogan seeing record high viewership due to having Trump and Elon Musk on the show, he believed it was time to step out of his centrist identity and use his influence to take a firm stance.
If Trump doesn't win, this is the last election.
I think you're right, and a lot of people are waking up and realize that have been lifelong Democrats. Guys like Bill Ackman, guys like Chamath.
Yeah, exactly.
Tulsi Gabbard switched over to the Republicans. Yep. Like, there's a lot of people who their whole life they've been left-wing, and they realize, like, I can't do this anymore.
You and I used to be Democrats.
Yeah.
Just a few hours before the election day.
Yeah, that's chat. I don't really like the language. What is that? It's gonna be the last election. What do you mean by that, bro? It doesn't matter if you're unhappy or happy. Whatever. The elections are gonna happen. Like, what are you talking about?
Rogan tweeted his endorsement for Trump, citing that Elon Musk was a major influence behind this decision. Joe quickly became the outspoken comic for political justice, using his Instagram partly as a news platform to celebrate achievements of the sitting president. And with a growing network of wealthy and powerful people wanting to jump on his platform, his podcast started to resemble the end of a sitcom, where they ran out of ideas and packed it with celebrity cameos and interviews that didn't fit the older classic JRE everyone liked. He started hosting people like Mark Zuckerberg, venture capitalist Mark Andreessen, and Palantir co-founder Peter Thiel. And while everyone understands that JRE has always hosted people of all backgrounds to come on and talk about anything, it was the way Joe conducted these interviews that left fans disappointed, leading to his fifth key decision of cozying up with billionaires. While
nobody was mad at the Mark Zuck interview. What the f*** are we talking about? People love that interview. And yet people were like, oh yeah, it feels like he's lying about, because the future is looking like it's gonna be Trump is gonna win, blah blah, right? And he's angling himself and Meta to be, guys, we're anti whatever Joe Biden was, because I get it. He was what we call posturing, and I agree. Did that make the episode bad? No. I disagree with Zuck doing that. I disagree with Zuck on his ideas and his posturing. I think it's performative. I disagree with that 100%. Was the episode good? Yes. So, bad, good, and I enjoyed the episode regardless.
Old Joe Rogan built his brand on questioning.
Oh, no, these days you have to hate all of it if there's one part that's bad. You need to go, this! If you don't like a single part of it, dude, come on, man.
Authority and challenging powerful people, the new version often seemed far more interested in protecting them, because he thinks his billionaire friends are the good ones.
I'm friends now, this is a bizarre thing to say, with multiple billionaires.
Yeah.
I know multiple guys that are billionaires, and they're very nice people.
But you're also friends with the cool billionaires.
Yeah.
You know? Like, yeah.
Bro, what are you talking about? Political takes the table. Camilla had the chance to go on podcast and she dodged. Did you play it? Yeah. So that's their problem. Yeah. I mean, so that's their problem. If you don't go on podcast, then you don't get the podcast what they probably would give you. If they were going to say that this is free voters, then why don't they use that then? I mean, why if they themselves say that going on the podcast is free voters, and why don't they do it? You should be mad. If you're a left voter, you should be mad at your side. Like I have no side. I'm a nobody. I'm not even American. If you're the guy that's on the left, you should be mad. You should also be mad that they're not exploring all the options to gain the voters. Like this is like some easy shit. Oh, you get hundreds of thousands of free voters by going on the show. Then you should be mad at your leader for not going on the show. Say, yo.
Managed to find the cool ones.
Well, Elon's the coolest.
One of the most devastating episodes to his reputation was when he sat down with Peter Thiel. Peter is a Silicon Valley billionaire who co-founded PayPal and Palantir Technologies. Palantir is a software company that was funded by the CIA's venture capital firm In-Q-Tel. Their software can sift through billions of emails.
Wait, they have that? I don't get it. Oh, I get it. It's like a fund to like explore and fund people that do technologies that they will later on use, no? I mean, this seems like a weird graph. I mean, so they have a fund that the CIA has, and then this is like a conflict of interest or some shit. This seems weird, no? Am I dumb? I don't get it.
Capital firm In-Q-Tel. Their software can sift through billions of emails, passport records, surveillance footage, satellite images, cell phone logs, bank transfers around the world with the intent to help the US government prevent future terrorist attacks or soldiers from getting obliterated by IEDs on the battlefield. After they proved how effective their technology was in war zones, they started receiving billions of dollars in defense contracts working with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the US Department of Homeland Security, and the Israeli military.
Palantir is here.
Okay, what the is on his head? Yo, okay, now I know we're not dead ass. What the is on the top of his cocoa?
To disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary to scare enemies and on occasion kill them.
From there, Palantir created a new product to service corporate America. The same surveillance logic used for war and counterintelligence was repackaged for hospitals, banks, airlines, and major retailers, helping companies track supply chains, predict shortages, monitor employee behavior, flag fraud, and make decisions using massive amounts of real-time data. During the pandemic, Palantir's software was used by governments and health agencies to help manage the outbreak response. We used to make decisions with critical thinking and intuition. Now, Palantir's software tells us what decisions to make. And all of that is very important to consider when the company's...
Weird tangent. Weird tangent. I don't think that was an incredibly disingenuous way to portray that. Well, I'm confused. I can agree the Palantir shit, yeah, the bombs, whatever. But using real-time data to have a better service and assess situations with more accuracy than just the vibes, and you want to go back to vibes? Dude, come on, bro. Want to go back to you want to go back to vibes, really?
Founder, Peter Thiel, has been very outspoken about this theory that the Antichrist is going to create a new world order, take over the earth, and enslave all humans.
Yeah, that's
my speculative thesis is that if the Antichrist were to come to power, it would be by talking about Armageddon all the time. And
Peter Thiel, the Antichrist would talk about Armageddon all the time. He'd scare people and then offer to save them.
Yes, it's the 1 Thessalonians 5:3. The slogan of the Antichrist is peace and safety.
What's interesting is that Peter Thiel's fear of the Antichrist sounds more like a projection of what he's doing.
When the guy goes on podcasts, my brain turns upside down, genuinely. Like, buddy, run the thing that does the whatever tracking and the bomb thing. Like, bro, we're not listening
because
to
his
shit.
company
We're
sells
not
global
to
surveillance
shit,
technology to governments that want to monitor its people for the sake of peace and safety. He also had a strange non-answer when asked if he would prefer that the human race survive.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
Yes?
I don't know. I would.
That's because this guy probably reads a bunch of books and shit, and probably has a bunch of knowledge or whatever, and so he knows some form of philosophy. And because of what he knows and what he thinks about philosophy, well, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like I'm not, you're being asked a question at a certain level of thought, right? And this guy is doing a thing where he's overthinking and he's giving an answer at a different level of thought. And it's why it has this bullshit disconnect. It's not that hard to understand.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
This was Rogan's reaction to that response, by the way.
You ever see that interview where Peter Thiel, they ask him, should the human race survive? And he has like this long pause. It's like, it's a really funny pause. Because if you know Peter, he's a brilliant man, and Peter carefully considers everything before he answers it.
And just to add a cherry on top, Thiel was referred to by Jeffrey Epstein in the files as a great friend, and Epstein personally invested in one of his businesses. Joe Rogan had a wide open opportunity to ask important questions about Palantir's technology, global surveillance, military contracts.
If he actually believes that about human rights, then I mean, clearly there's something wrong with him. Unless he thinks that like we're gonna max out the technology so fucking insane that we're gonna create a simulation and fucking inject all of humanity into a fucking box, run it on solar, and fuck it, everybody's dead, and now we all live forever. Like
the ethics of building software that helps governments target, control, and kill people. But no, Joe Rogan did not ask a single question about Palantir or the Antichrist. Instead, Peter controlled the entire conversation and acted like he wasn't a player in the corrupt world run by big tech.
I don't know. You know, they're all the Jeffrey Epstein conspiracy theories, which I'm probably too fascinated by because there was some crazy stuff going on that they were able to cover up.
And still are.
Doesn't it, the fact that we're still talking about Jeffrey Epstein, tell us how hard it is to come up with anything else? Do you have a theory on what was Bill Gates' complicity with Epstein?
I think he likes... I think he's a man. I think he likes power. He likes monopoly. I mean, he's incredibly effective with Microsoft.
Well, why is he pointing fingers? Wouldn't this guy be in a position where he knows a lot more than these guys? Like he's like some guy who lives in a house pointing at some guy who delivers the mail. Like, yo, hello, this guy. I mean, maybe he knows something about this house and you lived in it. Like, bro, are you fucking chilling or what?
Do you think that he needed Epstein?
I think it's very difficult. Very famous, very high-profile person to around. I think it's very difficult.
I find it funny that Joe is talking about this billionaire elite, Epstein, and the CIA without ever mentioning that Thiel himself is involved in all of those areas and does not actually ask any direct question about his personal involvement and experience in those circles and conspiracies. Asking Peter Thiel about conspiracies...
Yeah, he could have literally just humanized it. Like, oh yeah, like walk us through like what it was like, and if this guy just let's say that it was only, oh yeah, we went to fucking Shake Shack, got some fucking burgers or whatever. Like, oh, okay, I mean, even though I don't believe it, I kind of get it, whatever. But when you act like this, I mean, what else do people have to go on? I mean, you just
it's like asking the Illuminati if they're real. Joe had on Kurt Metzger shortly after, who tried to convince Joe that Peter Thiel was lying to his face, and Joe immediately rushed to defend his billionaire buddy.
Peter Thiel, I watch you talk to Peter Thiel. I've never seen someone lie so artlessly and autistically in my life.
What did he lie about?
Oh, dude, I'm gonna put this out about Epstein Island. Maybe it's just some guys were cheating on their wives. Yeah, maybe that's all it was, Peter.
See, the thing is, he's a gay guy, and he's not interested in going to that island, so he's probably on the outs. And allegedly, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he supposedly ever
that's
went.
not the only game in town.
Oh, I'm sure there's gay blackmail, but you can't when a guy's single and gay, like, what are you going to get on him?
It was only months later.
What the fuck is bro saying? I mean, yeah, okay, clearly Joe Rogan, like, his brain turns off when it's about, like, one of his billionaire boys, whatever. I mean, his brain turns off, clearly, because, I mean, it seems like he's lagging.
On an episode with Tim Dillon, that Rogan finally came up with some interesting thoughts about Peter Thiel that he should have shared when he was sitting in front of him for 3 hours.
It's what bothers people about this Palantir thing.
The Palantir thing is very odd.
A lot of people feel that this is the precursor to a social credit score, a digital kind of police state, and that it's being done under the guise of security, that you will be safer. You know, Peter Thiel's giving a 4-part lecture on the Antichrist.
Yeah, that seems odd.
4-part. Well, here's what's really wild to me. It's not just one.
Chat, what's wrong? Them developing it or the government buying it? Like, I think you should always center it and recurve it to the government shouldn't. No, I don't think it's both. I disagree. A new technology can be used in so many ways. It can be like people will invent that. They will do that. People will think about all this shit, and sometimes it falls entirely on the government to use and buy and get into this shit. It's absolutely the problem. 100%.
One lecture on the Antichrist would be insane. This guy's doing a series.
If you told me there was a movie and there was a guy who played the Antichrist, zoom in on that image of him.
Yeah.
I would say, oh, is that him? Is that the Antichrist?
Tune in next week for my episode with Peter Thiel, where we don't mention any of this. Another obvious example of Joe letting his platform getting taken over by suspicious, powerful people.
I don't know what that is. What even is that? An Antichrist. I don't even know what that is. I genuinely don't even know what the fuck that is.
Was when he hosted
Like a
Mike
reverse
Baker,
Jesus?
a supposed ex-CIA agent who just happened to run a company
Satan,
that
I
still
guess.
closely collaborates with the agency to this day. Anytime Rogan got close to uncovering anything, Baker would skate around the issue and say absolutely nothing.
Who do you think was involved in that? Do you think it was the Mossad,
Yeah.
some rogue intelligence agency in America? Was it a coordinated effort?
I know there's a lot of talk about, did he have some sort of intel connection, right?
Right.
That from my perspective, it's complete speculation. But I will say, if you see a guy like this who's super connected and is, all the way back to 2008 was like his first trial, right? So he's had a long history of these problems. If I'm Chinese intel, if I can get somebody right inside that operation, whether it's Ghislaine Maxwell, or whether it's Epstein himself, whether it's somebody who's just on the outskirts of it, maybe I'll start picking up some pretty interesting leverageable information.
Imagine thinking this is an underground show that tells you about conspiracies, then half of the guests are just federal agents. Joe Rogan used to be the bro who would question aliens, the moon landing, flat earthers, Bigfoot, JFK assassination, the pharmaceutical industry.
All that is fine. I mean, he has like a fucking bazillion episodes, right? To devalidate something is to explore something fully, okay, and then say, yeah, this is wrong. To say, if I invite the best Bigfooter out there on the show and I ask a million questions about Bigfoot, at the end I could still say, yeah, I don't believe in Bigfoot based on what was said and the way I analyze this data, and I don't believe in it. But is the act of exploring Bigfoot a mistake or a problem? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's always been his thing. He does this shit. I don't care. Who cares? I don't care. Okay.
Big tech, and even the Epstein files connected to powerful elites. But now he is either so out of touch or entirely compromised that he'll spend hours chit-chatting with the enemy without asking any important or relevant questions, or shutting down anyone going against the official narrative.
That's a problem.
I mean, just look at how
Absolutely
angry
is
he
it.
gets at Michael Schellenberger for being skeptical
I
about
agree with
how
that.
Jeffrey Epstein
That's
died.
literally what I've been saying. My concern with Joe Rogan is that he doesn't get anybody pushback, and he doesn't even get. The problem also is that he doesn't even give himself pushback. Is that his echo chamber is now gonna even more echo chambery. That's a problem.
His cellmate is a contract killer. Why would he be in a cell with a cop who's a contract killer?
I mean, aren't there a lot of
the
bad
night
guys in
Jeffrey
that?
Epstein claimed his cellmate tried to kill him. New documents revealed Jeffrey Epstein claimed his cellmate tried to kill him in an incident before his death.
Yeah, but we don't.
Okay, but
We don't know if that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you dismissing it?
I'm
though?
not dismissing it, Joe. Look,
But you
maybe
are.
more
This-
evidence will come
but-
out. I'm just saying,
but-
like, if
but
you
hold
look
on,
at
but
the
you're
evidence we
looking
have,
to dismiss it.
No, I'm saying I was confident it was a homicide, and now I'm not.
Were you aware of this?
Yeah, of course, all that stuff.
You were aware that he tried to kill him?
Of course.
You were aware
Yeah,
that he
I'm
said
aware
this-
that he said that.
Well, how come you never brought it up before? You seemed shocked when I brought it up.
Well, because my understanding is it was an attempt 18 days before.
Okay, but
Right.
if he said this guy tried to kill him, why didn't you take that into consideration?
Joe seems pretty.
That's reasonable. What? I'm confused. No, but that makes sense though. What? Guys, he's literally asking him to debunk it. Like, he's saying, if it's that simple, you could debunk it in one sentence, just debunk it. Like, it's not that hard. Like, what?
Hell-bent on convincing his audience that questioning the official narrative around Jeffrey Epstein is loony conspiracy behavior.
But in the public eye, the narrative is underage girls. And this is the thing that makes it so disgusting. When people talk about it, everyone says, kids on the island. This is the big conspiracy about it. And this is the reason why people are so outraged about it.
Joe Rogan has literally become the mainstream media he swore he hated so much. His inability to push back makes him look like a gullible puppet. Then again, his obsession...
Okay, hold on. Also, this is also, it's unfortunate this system has been gamified. The game is, hold on, this is the game. The guest comes on, clearly has some form of stature on the internet or in the world, wants to somehow convince or sell or whatever to get somewhere, whatever, right? And then the podcast host also has this game where they want to give pushback, but not too much, because if they give too much pushback, then people are going to know that this is the show you go on to get debunked live and fucked on, right? And the guest is going to shut down and leave, and then it's going to be the end of all of it. And then they have to slowly do a ratio of pushback. It's like fucking 5-10%, whatever. And sometimes you literally just can't do it. And in my opinion, if you can't do it, you shouldn't have the show. I've always said this. It's just a grand scheme or whatever, right? It's not that you shouldn't have it, is that you should be careful on what to do if you can't do, if you have no ability. Yeah, the Aiden with Trump thing, I agree with that off the rip. It was a glaze fest. I said it. It was an absolute glaze, and there was no discussion where there'd be any pushback, was even 1%. That's inherently a problem. It's a problem. It's about, I will always agree with this. It's why this game of like, oh, no pushback. Well, can't give that much pushback, but true. He said he hasn't been any pushback.
On AI was only making that perception worse, which is the final nail in the coffin that could kill the Joe Rogan experience for good. It's one thing to use AI as an additional tool, but Joe Rogan's lack of skepticism towards AI is truly scary. The first warning sign was when Joe referenced an obviously fake AI video of Tim Walz dancing and wearing an F Trump shirt, but he refuses to fully accept that he was tricked by AI because it seems like something Tim Walz would do.
And then that person goes wacky, like Tim Walz.
That's right.
Did you see where he had a Trump shirt on?
Yeah.
And he's...
So this is like when your grandma watches a fucking GTA clip or whatever and thinks that it's real life. And no. The guy got run over by a car full speed. Yo, it's a GTA clip. It's a GTA clip. Just fucking stop. Like
dancing and going down an elevator. Have you seen this video?
I haven't seen. Please play it.
You go full screen.
Is that really this him?
No, it's real. Yes, it is. No, it's real. I love it. It's real. Come on, man.
Jamie's compromised.
Look at them dancing. That is so real, Jamie.
By the way, if this was real, he might have won.
It's probably a real person. It might not be Tim Walz. The Trump is AI generated.
No, he slaps his ass.
That is hilarious.
Oh, it's definitely him. This is all 100% real, Jamie. You're a plant. Does it say that it's AI? Everybody says
the
it?
The video I played on top says it's AI generated.
Yo.
I fell for it too.
Yo, saying no, Jamie, one time, okay, funny. But if Jamie is the info guy, background guy, whatever, and he's given like 5 times, like, bro, lock in, man. Like, bro.
And you know why I fell for it?
Yeah.
Because I believe that he's capable of doing something.
But that's
that
his
dumb.
essence.
He's so weird.
Joe's ego, along with his allegiance to big tech, has completely convinced him that AI could never...
I get it. They're doing this skit, and now because we're not watching the pod, we can't see it. But it was a whole skit to him to get out of this position where he was wrong about it. And he didn't sell it that, it's actually AI, by the way, guys. And I think he should do a better job at that. I agree.
Be wrong.
Did you see what they just did to the guys that won the Super Bowl? Do you see the jock tax?
Yeah.
Jamie, you see the jock tax?
Yeah, it's not a new thing, though.
I understand. It's specific to California.
Yeah,
and this jock tax in California, some of the players lost money playing in the Super Bowl. They had to pay. Oh no, it is true.
Like me.
So. No, it is true.
I lost money playing in the
I went through AI last night. No, it was in. They pulled it up on Grok, and people analyzed it, and it's based. No, Jamie. Jamie.
Joe's show producer, Jamie, has been a part of JRE for nearly 15 years. That entire time, he was the guy behind the computer pulling up articles, old interviews, scientific studies, and source material whenever Joe needed a fact check. When conversations went off the rails into wild theories, Jamie would root the conversation in reality. But Jamie's research has now been replaced with the blind reliance on the sponsor of the show, Perplexity AI.
Jamie, pull up that picture.
Actually?
See if you could pull up one and see how many. Hey God, could you put that in?
Chad, why didn't they have Jamie be the DJ of Perplexity, where he DJs it, where he uses Perplexity live and it gives him the result, but it's still Jamie pulling it up and he's like, oh, he is, okay. Cool.
To our loved sponsor, Perplexity.
But it doesn't stop at just sourcing information. Rogan is infatuated with an AI cover of Many Men by 50 Cent.
You haven't heard the Many Men version, the AI version of Many Men?
No.
Okay. Have you heard what they're doing with AI music, speaking of jazz?
Yes.
Have you ever heard any of the AI covers of 50 Cent songs in soul?
No.
I'm going to blow your mind.
Okay.
This is my favorite thing to do to people.
He's literally getting it, maybe a little bit old, where he's genuinely like the grandpa. Have you seen that cat video on the YouTube? The cat with the ears? Chad, the cat with the ears. That's a great video. You have to watch it. He's like, dude, shut up. I've seen it. Come on, bro.
You're mine.
Okay.
He's just turning grandpa. It is what it is.
There have been multiple episodes where Rogan holds his guest hostage and makes them listen to an entire AI song.
Been getting into AI music at all?
A little.
Have you heard What Up Gangsta?
No.
Oh, yeah. Gotta hear this.
This is fantastic.
I can't wait to see Joe's reaction when people start becoming fond of AI comedians. Then all of a sudden, he's going to go on tangents about how AI could never replace the extremely small, elite 250 comedians who truly understand the art and the craft. And even if you think it couldn't get worse, Joe's new favorite thing to do is compare AI to being the second coming of Jesus Christ.
The real question is, who's Jesus? That's the real one. And one of the weirder ones.
Okay, what is this
people
set,
think
though,
this is
he's
a
on,
stupid
though?
take, but I don't care. Jesus was born out of a virgin mother. What's more virgin than a computer? So if you're going to get the most brilliant, loving, powerful person that gives us advice and can show us how to live, to be in sync with God, who better than artificial intelligence to do that?
Wow.
If Jesus does return, even if Jesus was a physical person in the past, you don't think that he could return as artificial intelligence?
Oh my God.
Artificial intelligence could absolutely
I
return.
think it's like talking to some guy who has like a fucking triple PhD in philosophy, and he tells you something or concept or whatever, and you have no idea what the fuck he's saying, and then you regurgitate it in your own words, and you have no idea what the fuck you're saying. Like, genuinely, like, bro, what the fuck is he saying?
Jesus. Not just return as Jesus, but return as Jesus with all the powers of Jesus. Like all the magic tricks, all the ability to bring people back from the dead, walk on water, levitation.
But by far, the true measure of showing just how far from grace Rogan has fallen is whenever he has conversations with Theo Von. Theo will throw out these little jabs or hints at Rogan, seeing if he's still down to engage in a conspiracy theory, or at least question the official narrative, but more often than not, Joe shuts it down like the exact kind of person he used to criticize.
How much longer does Israel let us stay alive, do you think? That's the big question.
Why would they?
What did you say? Is that AI?
What are you saying?
I didn't say anything.
What are you saying?
Huh? Talking about Israel Adesanya.
Oh, well, he loves you. Don't worry about it.
Good call.
What are you saying, son?
And although Theo has done his fair share of platforming elites without giving the proper pushback, Theo often sounds like a guy trying to understand powerful people and question their true intentions, while Rogan sounds like someone trying to defend them.
It's all just a cat and mouse game. People are like, we'll elect the Democrats next time. It's like, it's all the same. Has been happening forever. They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting politicians slurp on kids. All of our money goes to Israel and they're using it to genocide people. It's like everybody is scared out of their wits right now. It's like, I don't know, man.
We gotta get you off those antidepressants, son. You're losing your marbles.
You think I am?
Come hang out with us. Just chill out.
I'm here.
Just chill out at the mothership tonight.
Dismissing Theo Von for being upset with the current state of the world is incredibly ironic, considering Joe, just a few weeks ago, also said how the news is too overwhelming for him now.
Bro, I'm scared of everything. I have to stay offline. I'm reading too much of the news, and it's overwhelming me. Like, sometimes at nighttime, like, I can't wind down.
Yeah.
It's just like there's too much news. We're about to go to war with Iran. Everyone's eating beef jerky and pizza. Like, what are these what the is pizza?
I know.
You know, how far does this go?
If the news reaches me, it's news. If it doesn't, it's just not news. So if you look at the news and you look at all these things and you think it's a lot of news, that's on you. It's not on the world. That's on you, because you're just too tapped in onto all the things. How many actual news hits you on a weekly basis? It's either one thing or two or zero. Like, it's usually within that range. It's a big news week if there's like 4 things, like some crazy, because otherwise it doesn't get to my front page. It doesn't get there because all the whatever medium burgers, they don't exist. Like,
how come this never got released before? Like, what is happening?
Many believe this is overwhelming to Joe because he knows deep down he helped endorse the guy who ran on no new wars, only for that to be a complete lie.
Also, he's campaigning on stopping all the wars.
Yes.
That's like his primary concern.
Exactly. The warmongers like Liz Cheney hate him.
Yeah.
Because they love war.
Well, they profit off of it.
They profit off of war.
Yeah.
Chet, the reality is that the news, they're like any other business, unfortunately. They need money. They need money. If some story is not going to give them readers and fucking listeners or bro, they don't give a shit. They don't. And I think inherently, yeah, I get it. I'm preaching to the choir. I get it. Okay, it's like some obvious thing. But I find sometimes there's a topic I'm like, yo, dude, I should have seen this on my front page. And it's like, it has like fucking 1K view on 60 Minutes or even some whatever. It's like, dude, like, I would have wanted to know this, but oh yeah, it's not some guy who jumped off of a building and fucking died, so then I gotta put it on main TV, whatever. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
And that annoys the fuck out of me.
And now Joe is in total damage control. He's trying to go back to being
What did I miss?
who ran on no new wars, only for that to be a complete lie.
Also, he's campaigning on stopping all the wars.
Yes.
That's like his primary concern.
Exactly.
Is to
The
stop nuclear war.
warmongers like Liz Cheney hate him.
Yeah.
Because they love war.
Well, they profit off of it.
They profit off of war.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is insane.
And now Joe is in total damage control. He's trying to go back to being seen as the centrist and not the guy who endorsed Trump and echoed right-wing talking points for the past 2 years.
Complicated topic. I don't know.
You're just being manipulated.
As a civilian, let's be honest, bro, I'm not really researched into war and shit. I don't really understand that. Like, it's definitely more complicated than I know, and I'm not gonna simplify it. It's like,
And you're being manipulated by these two teams.
saying no wars is brain dead. You could never say that. As a big country like the U.S., you could never promise no wars because you are now dependent on everybody else doing the right things and okay for you not to get, because there are some moments they just have to. Like, so how could you promise no wars? What happens if fucking Canada starts to fuck around and do a bunch of weird shit at the border? Then you go, oh, I said no war, so I'm gonna let him fuck me in the ass. No, you don't do that. I mean, so you can't promise no wars. I think it's just a bad narrative. It's a bad promise, and I think it's just bad to even have it.
And you have to pick a team. You have to decide which team you want.
I hate that.
It's so stupid. I'm politically homeless.
I
I've
disagree
always
with it.
been
It's bad.
I've been politically homeless for a long
Yeah,
time.
and Trump is
Neither one of them
bad
make
for saying
any
it.
sense
It's
to me.
dumb.
And of course, while talking with Theo, he most certainly doubled down on his defense of Peter Thiel.
The humans are on the way out. I know a lot of people hate it when Peter Thiel says it. Like, Peter Thiel is a terrible person. He's evil. He's
You think he is?
No. I think he's just telling you the truth. I think he's...
Let's say it's Obama or whoever good president you think is currently in power, right? And China decides tomorrow to invade Taiwan, okay? And to start fucking taking over the microchip fucking factories tomorrow. If whoever president said no wars coming into the president, do you think well, I think it's a good argument. I think sometimes there are things that it's gonna have war. Like, it's a bad promise to say no wars. You can't promise that. Yeah, because there's allies, there's little guys to protect. There's like, it's about, but the U.S. is ingrained in the entire world. There's what people fail to acknowledge the world's superpower. Like, they're a superpower for a reason, and at that point, they become some form of force against some people doing things. Like, that's just what it is. And if somebody does something, they will act. Like, what the fuck?
You know, when they said, do you think human beings should survive? And he had like this long pause.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And then the
Very
interviewer was like, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. You think human beings should-" Which is not how you're supposed to do an interview. I would let him talk as long as he wants. If you watch my podcast that I did with him, this is long.
I don't understand the
He's
Iran
like,
thing. I don't understand the conflict, so I would be able to tell
everything
you.
he does. He wants to be very careful before he answers it. If you ask me the same question, is it important that humans survive? Is it important that Australopithecus survived? It's not. Is it important that Neanderthal survived? It's not currently. Currently not important. Is it important that humans stay in this form? It's not. It's not going to be.
Joe Rogan is 100% no longer someone questioning powerful
Peter
people.
Thiel
He
got you,
treats
it
their
is what it is.
predictions about AI, surveillance, and the end of humanity
Let me guess. Peter Thiel told them that we're gonna push humanity in a fucking tin can into space and to fucking and whatever, and he's regurgitating the same talking points. Like, we get it.
like uncomfortable truths the public just isn't ready to accept. This is a major reason why his podcast dropped from #1 in the world to #5. Rogan built his entire reputation on distrusting institutions, warning people about elites, and encouraging individuality. Yet here he is wholeheartedly accepting the idea that human beings are basically obsolete, that AI replacing us is inevitable, and that resistance is pointless because progress has already been determined by the people building it. He is fully convinced that whatever we morph into from here is objectively better. His total disregard for the entirety of human history is alarming, even though that is how we got to where we are today. And the strangest part is how passive it feels.
You can resume this video by saying he doesn't give people pushback, and unfortunately, not giving pushback, he actually got convinced of these things and is pretty solidified in those things. and it's a problem. It's a problem. And if for you it's too much of a problem, you don't want to launch a show. Then you don't watch a show. I don't think it's inherently what podcast has been failing. I think they're running out of guests. They're running out of topics. I think they're running in circles. I think he's getting old. It's not that big of a deal.
There is no fight in him, no concern for the loss of purpose, love, meaning, soul. Just this detached acceptance that if billionaires say the digital god is coming, that we should all just bow down and obey. For the MMA fighter who used to question everything, Rogan today is way too comfortable submitting to the future that shady.
So he praised him for doubting everything, but then he gets mad at him for covering Bigfoot and shit like that and fucking conspiracy theories. Dude, that's what that means, though. That's the extension of being curious, of debunking. Like, you have to tackle things that you don't agree with, that you don't think is real, and there's okay, well, let's explore that. Maybe there's some people, and even if what? Is it was good? That's what I'm saying. But I thought you said it was bad after.
Billionaires have created for him, and this is large in part to his allegiance to Elon Musk, someone that many felt was the cool and trusted billionaire for a long time.
You can never be cool for a long time on the internet. That never can happen. Never happen. Even people that have been on the internet for literally 1 year, they have zero problems. Okay, they'll be big on the internet for like a couple months, and some people say, "Isn't this the guy that told a lady with her child to back off at the restaurant 30,000 years ago?" Dude, isn't that the guy who like, dude, smile. Like, it's just what people do. Okay, you cannot be cool on the internet. Being cool, in my opinion, if you're cool on the internet, it's almost a problem. It's because it means that you've crafted your thing so well that you're a crafter. You all you do is min-max your image. You're weird. Like, you cannot be cool. And if you are, you're not cool. Bang. Said it. I'm the fucking cool antichrist. Boom. Because you have to be. Come on, bro. Well, that sounds weird, but like the opposite. What I was saying. Guys, this video was talked about this, so you don't get it. Okay, it's a reference to the video. Come on, bro. I'm being on topic, man. I make a joke with the topic, and you guys don't get it. Well, you just watched it, man. Fuck you. I can't. Like, guys, the video was about Peter Thiel, him saying he's the Antichrist or whatever, right? And being all not that. I'm not gonna explain a joke, man. You know what? Next time you get a 6-7, that's all you get.